Brian Grimes, your real estate mentor, back with another action packed session. Today, we're going to be talking about how to find good deals. So, if you've been struggling to find good deals, you don't know what to do, you're going to have to try this. I'm going to give you a 3-step system. The wrong way, the 3D method, which the 3D method will show you some of the right steps that you need to be taking to get results, and then some common mistakes to avoid along the journey. This will accelerate you as you continue to scale your way up. If you're new to the channel, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment that says I subscribed. If you just want to tap into like the knowledge, what it took me 10 plus years to learn, I've done over 400 deals at this point. You can always click the link in the description on YouTube or on IG. You can click the link in bio and tap into our 24/7 cash flow community. It's only $27 to join. It keeps out tire kickers, people who aren't serious about real estate, but we are building a very serious community. So that can get you access to private money lenders, contractors, kind of all the different, realtors, mortgage brokers, all the different relationships you need to scale are inside of our 24/7 cash flow community, including accountants. People are always asking for that. You have any real estate accountants? Yes, they're all in the community group. If you want to come out and see my operation live, we're doing another real estate ride along tour Saturday, May 31st. So at the end of the month, we're almost sold out, but that's a private tour you'll take with me and about 20 other investors. So, oh, somebody's just tapping in from Ghana. Thanks for tapping in. A lot of people are tapping in from out of the country, right? As well, trying to get into the U.S. real estate. But you can come out, spend the day with me. We grab lunch. We see about 15 properties. So we don't spend time in the classroom. We're out and about looking at deals all day. You can see my entire boots on the ground operation, the deals we build, where we build them, how much it costs to build them. I'll educate you and accelerate you about a decade in a day. So if you want to do that experience, just reach out, DM me, ride along, and grab a ticket for that. And then, of course, we have the Boots on the Ground program where we find, finance, rehab, tenant, and manage properties for our clients from across the country, even outside of the country. Like I said, you can always reach out about the Boots on the Ground program. We have very limited capacity there. We only bring in a handful of people every month to keep the numbers small. So just reach out, DM me, Boots on the Ground. But click the link in bio, click the link in the description to tap in. So let's get into it, guys. Of course, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat section, drop them in the comment section, and I will answer your questions as we flow through. We'll keep this tight at about 20, 30 minutes. All right. Now that we got the housekeeping out of the way. So you can't find good deals. Here's what you're doing wrong. Let's get straight into the wrong way. Once again, as you guys have questions as we're flowing through this, feel free to drop in and ask your questions. Let me try to zoom in like this. Can I zoom in again? Give me 1 second. I just want to get our view right for my Instagram people. So the wrong way. So here's the wrong way. Mark Wright said, "Hey B, I'm tapping in from Burkina Faso in my heart." Definitely, Burkina Faso has been going crazy. If you guys haven't been following that, you need to kind of read up and research on that. What's been going on there in Africa? It's been pretty interesting, and a blueprint is being laid out nonetheless for how to protect your sovereignty and to protect your resources and monetize your own assets. It's a very interesting thing going on in West Africa right now. I'd recommend you all do your own research. Maybe I'll talk about it in a separate video, but definitely pay attention to that because there's some things that are shifting right now globally. So the wrong way to do it is to not have enough sources, not have enough deal sources is number one. So most people who come to me, they say, "Brian, I can't find profitable deals. What am I doing wrong?" I ask them, "Well, where are you looking?" "Oh, well, I'm dealing with this wholesale group and they're a great group and they're sending me deals, but nothing seems to be coming through and they're pressuring me." Or you'll hear some people are just looking at the MLS. "Hey, I'm just going on, Zillow and I'm not seeing a good deal flow. What am I doing wrong here?" Or some people are just going on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. They're just looking at one source is the bottom line. Not having enough sources is the wrong way. You need to create deal overload. You need to create a position of abundance in my mindset. And that's how my mindset is. I want to be in deal overflow. I want to be in an abundant situation. I want to have more deals than I know what to do with. So I'm looking at Redfin, Zillow. I'm all over the MLS. I'm on online auction sites. I'm at the physical share sales. I'm on Craigslist. I'm on Facebook Marketplace. I'm going direct to consumer, bandit signs, driving for dollars, cold calling, blast texting. You have to do all of the above. It's like when you're taking a standardized test and there's like option A, B, C, and then D is all of the above. With real estate and deal sourcing and finding profitable deals, you have to go with option D, all of the above. Look everywhere. When you look everywhere, what happens is you start finding deals you can cherry pick from each deal source. And that puts you in an abundant mindset where you can just focus on the best deals. If you are only looking at even wholesale, for instance, you're not going to be getting enough volume because 90% of the deals that trade in America trade on the MLS. So you're not going to be seeing enough deals to be in an abundance mindset. You'll be in a scarcity mindset. And when you're in that mindset, you don't see as much opportunity. You don't see enough deal flow. And therefore, you start going after bad deals and sacrificing. And that's not something that you want to do. That's actually one of the mistakes, and we'll talk about. So that's mistake number one, is not having enough deal sources. I have a video on my YouTube channel that talks about my top 7 deal sources. I'd recommend watching that video to kind of learn what my top 7 are and how to navigate them, and which sources I go to get deals. Or you can click the link in the description, tap into the 24/7 cash flow community for $27 and start to learn this game at a high level. But that's only for people who are serious. If you're not serious, then just sit on the sidelines. You'll only hurt yourself, but you won't hurt us. Sit on the sidelines and just kind of miss out. But if you are serious, definitely tap in. Number 2, overpriced markets. So if you're in an overpriced market, if you're in California, Colorado, certain parts of Texas, Florida, New York, Massachusetts, if you're in some of these overpriced markets, that's the wrong way. Looking for profitable deals in overpriced markets where the average starter home, 3-bed, 1-bath, is like $1 million, 1.5 million, you're just not going to win. You're not going to find cash flow. You're not going to find deals. There's too much market pressure there. You're in a bubble. So the move there would be to pick up and go to an out-of-state market where there is profitability. Go to a top 10 market. If you don't know what the top 10 markets are, just Google top 10 markets Zillow. And there's an article that Zillow wrote naming their top 10 markets. Philadelphia is one of them. Baltimore is one of them. Cleveland's one of them. A lot of the Northeast has these top 10 markets. And I focus on the top 10 cash flow and buy and flip cities if I want to make money. Because why set yourself up against the 8 ball? Like, why be behind when you can put yourself in a profitable area? If you just put yourself in a profitable market, chances are you're going to find a profitable deal. It's really that simple. So if you're in a bad market, get out of an overpriced market. So I see a lot of people just beating their head against the wall. Hawaii is another one. Hawaii is probably the most expensive and overpriced market out there, believe it or not. So get out of overpriced markets. That's the wrong way. Get into more deal sources. Number 3, paralysis through analysis. So this happens to the smart people out there. And a lot of us are smart. We're well educated. We're working a 9 to 5. You got a master's. You're super educated. But unfortunately, you're so smart that you get stuck in paralysis through analysis because you're looking at deals. You don't really know the cost of construction. Part of paralysis through analysis is really deep because it's like you're so smart, or you're so smart that you're arrogant within your intelligence. Because you think you're smart at one thing, you assume that you're just intelligent all over the place, and that becomes arrogant. So then you won't get mentorship. You won't tap into people who know more than you and who can educate you because you're too arrogant. So then you try to use your own intelligence to analyze things you don't understand, like real estate, which is very multifaceted. And there are just so many angles to it that you can't see as a new person. And you won't get the help you need, not even for $27. Many people who are hyper intelligent are like, that's a scam. I'm not going to pay that. And then they go out and get burned for 50 grand on a deal because they don't know what they're doing. So you get stuck in paralysis through analysis, meaning you can't analyze deals. You're paralyzed in your lack of analysis because you're smart enough that you're arrogant, but you're also so smart that you secretly know you're arrogant and that you're not ready to do a deal. So then you stay stuck in paralysis, and all these deals pass you, and you can't move fast enough on the good deals. You see them, they're profitable, but you can't move because you know that you don't know enough, and you just stay stuck. And that's it's the wrong way. The right way. I did a podcast 5:30 today, so like 3 hours ago. And the guy was asking me, he's like, this was after the recording. He's like, Brian, how much do you ever get into mentorship stuff yourself? And I'm like, yeah, I get into mentorship. I was like, bro, I spent $45,000 this year on mentorship. Just so far this year. It's like I spend at least 10%, or I spend a lot of money on mentorship. for myself personally, because I've been doing it for the last decade. I've always been investing in my own education and growth and learning from others for different areas. Anything that I want to do, I'm going to probably tap into some type of program from somebody who's done it before or at a larger scale than me. Therefore, they've seen more and they can show me the different pitfalls, because we're all getting older. However old you are today, you're as young as you're going to be ever. So which means you don't have time to waste. You don't have any more time to waste. You don't have more years to waste. So are you going to figure out, are you going to spend like 3 to 4 years trying to figure out something that somebody else already knows? Let's say if you wanted to be a marketer, hey, I want to get into marketing. So are you going to go figure it out on your own? Or are you going to go work with somebody who maybe manages like a $50 million marketing spend, because they manage marketing campaigns for other clients? So they're managing $50 million a year of marketing spend. Even if it's other people's money, they're seeing all the analysis, all the knowledge, they're iterating. You think you're ever going to get to that level with your little, $600 or $2,000 a month marketing budget? You're never going to see their $50 million in knowledge. And they might have a 2K course to get access to it. Some people are too arrogant, and it's unfortunate. It's the wrong way. So that's also part of it, is just like finding different, cheaper ways to accelerate yourself versus learning from the school of hard knocks for your own good. Or you can be bullheaded and do it, on your own, but you're just going to waste a lot of time, and you're going to pay more. You're going to pay $1 million in mistakes, or $250,000 in mistakes, and you might not have that $250,000 to pay in mistakes. So you have to get that figured out. Number 4, not submitting offers, not getting out enough offers. Want to get more deals, make more offers. So a lot of people will come to me, Brian, I can't get any deals. I can't find good deals. You know what my first question is? How many offers do you make per week? You'd be shocked. Well, I actually haven't gotten any offers out. Well, how the hell are you going to get a deal? Not only should you be getting offers out, you need to be getting out at least 2 to 3 offers a week. If you're serious about this game, if you want to scale a portfolio, if you want to get out of the 9 to 5, guess what? You need to be getting out 2 to 3 offers a week. And there's a system to do that. Our boots on the ground system will do that for you. You can always just tap into done for you models, where we'll go out and find the deals for you, send them to you, do the analysis, connect you with the lenders, build through them with the contractors, tenant them with the leasing agents, and then manage them at 5%. Like, we can do it for you. But even in the event that it's not done for you, hey, Emily, thanks for tapping in from PA, from my hometown of Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. You got to submit offers. So if you're not making enough offers, you're not going to win. So you need not look any further. Usually you're not making enough offers because you're stuck in paralysis through analysis. You're typically in overpriced markets, which is another big mistake, and you don't have enough deal sources. Most people are actually struggling with all 4 of these issues and wondering, why can't I get ahead? Well, this is why. If you have these 4 things going against you, you're doing everything the wrong way. You're not going to get massive results. The crazy part is you can still get some results, even doing everything the wrong way. It's just going to take you a really long time. So you have to love real estate. But this isn't like get rich quick. This is get rich smooth and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. But if you're doing it the wrong way, it's going to be super slow. So don't do it the wrong way. If you're struggling with these things, I've kind of explained for you how to get over them. Increase your deal sources, get out of overpriced markets, invest out of state in the top 10, Google it and find the top 10 and then go there, or figure out how to go turnkey there, or get resources like our Boots on the Ground program to get tapped in there. Get out of paralysis through analysis by discontinuing your arrogance, tapping into your intelligence and rerouting your intelligence to seek out help, and use that intelligence to not go after quick money, but to go after knowledge, because the knowledge won't leave you. Knowledge, one of my mentor's biggest principles, and he's very successful. He's more successful than me, I'll even say, is portable equity. Portable equity. Never work anywhere where you can't take the knowledge with you. If you work at a job and they'll pay for you to get a credential, get it. Because if you leave that job, the credential stays with you. It's portable equity. Knowledge of real estate is portable equity. Even if I took all of your real estate, you could build it all back, because you have portable equity in the form of knowledge. So reroute your intelligence to no longer be arrogant, but to seek out good knowledge for the purpose of accelerating, because you're intelligent enough to understand that you're running out of time and you're not getting any younger. And today's the youngest you'll ever be on this planet. Use your intelligence that way. It'll work better for you and it'll get you unstuck. and then submit more offers when in doubt. Guys, if you're getting value, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment that says I subscribe, share the content with someone else who you want to get value. More importantly, don't take free gifts of knowledge and information and not pass it along. And drop a like. Sometimes we have like 30, 40 people in. We got 13 likes. We should at least have 50% likes, so that, because the algorithm will then share the content with other people automatically. So make sure you're participating and passing the information forward. If you want to tap into our 24/7 cash flow community, click the link in the description. Or click the link in bio and just tap in. It's $27, but don't tap in if you're a naysayer, if you're a skeptic, if you're, paralysis through analysis, and you haven't overcome your things. I'm not your therapist. I do the real estate therapy 50% of the time, though. As a real estate coach, I will tell you, it is 50% real estate therapy, but I'm not your therapist. I'm your real estate therapist. I can kind of talk you through these issues and show you how to navigate. But tap into your mindset. The number one thing we start with, in fact, in our course content is mindset, because mindset is everything, and it will get you to where you want to go. Okay, let's keep this flowing. And then we have that real estate ride along tour, guys. May 31st. We're going to be sold out by the end of the week. After this week, like, don't even ask me. People are always reaching out. Brian, you got any spots left? It's like, bro, it's in 5 days. Like, come on, bro. We don't have 40 seats on the bus. We only have 20, because I want to spend time with you guys one-on-one. The 3D method. So Carrie said, I'm a therapist. Or maybe she's making fun of me. The 3D method. So what is the 3D method? Number one is deals. So deals, you want to break this into 3 sections. If you want to get more deals, and we've talked about this before, but I want to reiterate, you have to have multiple deal sources. Here's where I go. I'll go to wholesalers, and I want to build out a big network of wholesalers, because from a time standpoint, even if you can do your own activity, you can get in front of motivated sellers, and I'm doing my own marketing and cold calling and all this stuff, there's still a limit of time. Real estate is about leverage. The only thing that combats time is leverage. What do I mean by that? Well, doing your first deal, it might take you 8 months to do your first deal. Your second deal, you can go faster because of the knowledge. So you can build the same property, same circumstances in 4 months. So you can do it twice as fast. You've collapsed time through knowledge. But what about the fact that because you have more knowledge and confidence, you can not only do 1 deal in 4 months, you can now do 4 at once or 2 at once. So the leverage further collapses time, because now I can get 4 times as much done in the same amount of time, or in even half the time. That's called exponential growth. So I want to go to wholesalers and build out this network of other people who are door knocking and digging up deals, because it increases my leverage. It increases my abundance of deal flow, and just gets me in front of more opportunities for the incremental cost of them marking up the deal $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 on deals that I can still make $50,000, $60,000 on in the short term, and $100,000 plus in the long term, plus cash flow. That's a worthwhile trade. That's called leverage. Everybody in real estate is not a middleman. That's another tough lesson, but it's part of our mindset training. When you join our, even if you tap in for $27, you get access to VIP course content. That's part of the mindset training, is understanding that everyone is not a middleman, and you have to use your intelligence to understand this is leverage, this is a middleman. Cut out middlemen, but always keep leverage, because once you cut out leverage, you're like, uh-oh, now I have to do this work, and it's just not as valuable. So I'm going to find them on Facebook Marketplace, investorlift.com, Craigslist. I'm going to go to these off-market deal sourcing websites, and I'm going to find wholesalers, and I'm just going to get on their mailing list, as many of them as possible. Ideally, you want to have about 10 to 15 wholesalers on your list, and the smaller wholesalers, not the big ones. The big ones are full of it, and because they have these big offices, they're marking up their deals $50K, and they're not profitable. And then they lie to you and mark up the comps, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Number 2, auctions, online auctions, share sales, tax liens, tax certs. I want to go to these auctions to get deal flow, because I can get some really cheap, low to the ground deals. One profitable auction deal can make you $50,000 to $100,000. One profitable auction deal can make you $50,000 to $100,000. You only need to do 1 or 2 profitable auction deals per year to get very wealthy. Because if you just have one good year where you make that 50 to 100K off the auction, you can then reinvest those profits and go faster and do more at once. And you will accelerate, and you will now be doing 5 to 10 of them a year. And you'll be making, anywhere from like 100 to maybe even $500,000 off of the auction. And there are guys who do this. It's just about specializing and staying tapped in. So going to the auctions, learning how auctions work is very important. The auction is dangerous. So the auction is not easy. Yeah, somebody Chance said like New Western. Um, you said it. I'm gonna bring that post up. I'm not gonna confirm or deny because I don't need New Western trying to send me a freaking cease and desist. But you said it. A lot of people have had experience with New Western. It's not the first time I've heard it from other people. So you said it. Everybody can do their own research and come to their own conclusion. But all I can tell you is that there are wholesalers out here who mark up price, who are notorious for marking up pricing. And if you read through blogs or bigger pockets and stuff like that, you'll start to see other names, and then you have to act accordingly. But I will not confirm or deny um, New Western as a culprit. But it is what it is, and I'm sure even there, like my experience with New Western, one thing I will say from my experience with them is they've changed management at some point. When I first started to engage New Western, I got a lot of good deals. And Chance, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I can't confirm or deny on a recorded video. But my experience with them was tremendously different when they had the prior management versus whatever management they have now. My experience changed, and I kind of shied off of dealing with the company. But when they first came out, I got a lot of deals through New Western, and they had a really good process. But the management changes. It's like anything else. You could like going to a restaurant, the management changes, and then you're like, I hate this place. And then the MLS, you have to go to the MLS. You have to go to Redfin. You have to go to Zillow. You have to go to Realtor.com. A lot of places will tell you you can't find any deals off the MLS. Well, we get deals for 30 cents on the dollar off the MLS through the Boots on the Ground program every week, and it's been like that. It's been like that, guys. Like I've been getting deals for pennies on the dollar off the MLS for over a decade in a hot market. I'm still doing it right now today. Like I could show you a text. I'll post it on my Instagram stories. I'll post a text after this live where you'll see how many deals we put under contract in the last week. We probably put 5 deals under contract, pennies on the dollar, right off the MLS. So mixing it in, the reason you have to do the MLS is because the MLS, 90% of the deals that trade on the market trade on the MLS. So if you cut out the MLS, you're cutting out too much abundance and you're going to fail. You're cutting out way too much abundance in my mindset. So that's part of the deals of the 3D method. The data, you have to be able to run your comps. So you have to know the after repair value. Everything is based in real estate on the after repair value. All the loans, all the profitability, it's all based on the ARV. Even the cash flow can change depending on the ARV. So you have to know your after repair value. You have to know how to run comps on your properties. You shouldn't be reliant totally on someone else. This is how a lot of people get burned by wholesalers because they don't know what deals are worth. They don't know how to pull comps, which is a basic skill set. That's like being a basketball player and not knowing how to dribble or not knowing how to pass, really. It's even worse than dribble because some people just suck at technical skills, but not even be able to pass the ball. And I'm a basketball player, so they pass you the ball and you just choke. No, you have to be able to pass, bro. There are some basic fundamentals out here. Comps is one of them. So you have to be able to run your comps. Rehab, you have to be able to build rehab budgets or at least understand the cost of construction at a rudimentary level, or you will get burned by contractors as you're trying to scale. You'll just get burned. So that's a big part of your education. If you don't know how to run comps or build rehab budgets, you're screwed. You shouldn't be in the game. You should be seeking out knowledge first. Affordable knowledge. You ain't going to get more affordable knowledge than our $27 community group and more access to resources. It's just not going to happen. Which is why I'm so glad that we put that together and we offer it, because it really roots out the people who just aren't serious about real estate. Quite frankly, it just roots you right out. And it's like, well, if you can't throw $27, $27 is like get you a carton of eggs today. If you can't throw $27 on your real estate knowledge, you're not serious. Somebody's got to tell you that, but you're not. And you damn sure shouldn't go drop 20 G's on a deal if you're not serious about your education, because you're going to get burned. You're going to get burned. A lot of people think, oh, I can't afford that. I'm going to run and put all my money into a 30K down on a deal, and you get burned over there. You can't tell the real estate game, I can't afford it. You're not going to tell the contractor who scammed you, I can't afford to be scammed. Can you give me my money back? Nobody cares. Should have read the fine print. Should have done your Carfax. Chance says, no cap, $27 probably the best investment of my life. Seriously, like, It cost me millions of dollars to get this knowledge. I'm offering it to you for $27. Somebody asked me to convince them. Can you convince me why? I said, I'm not convincing you anything. I'm not convincing you anything. If you need to be convinced, go sit on the sidelines or go get burned. Getting burned will convince you should have got knowledge. I'm not wasting my breath on it. If you can't see it, then you just can't see. It doesn't matter to me at that level. I'm here for the people who can see, the people who are serious, the people who have been burned, like I got burned trying to figure this game out. I'm here for those people. I'm not here for the naysayers or the tire kickers. People do gatekeep. A lot of people gatekeep. A lot of people gatekeep. The knowledge I give you guys on these lives is more than what's in 99% of the courses out there, just on the lives alone. So you need to do that. And then lending. You need to understand lending. A lot of people don't understand the lending cost, the lending fees. How can I get more money to do deals? What are my options? So many of you and I'll put this, even I'm guilty of this. There have been times I've been in deals and I've been like, this deal is over. I'm dead. Like I'm done. The money's dried up. The walls are collapsing because I wasn't aware of the different lending and strategies that are out there. And then like I had a partner at the time and he was more educated on the lending piece, and he just comes up, oh no, I got this lender, they're going to do this. And I'm like, damn, I didn't even know that existed. What you don't understand about this game could be holding you back. If you knew all of the aspects and angles of this game, you would be less afraid because you would understand there's so many stop losses and stop gaps and checkpoints. It's kind of like if you ever played, I'm dating myself, but for those who were like 80s babies or even around that time, if you played like Sonic on like Sega or something like that, there would be checkpoints. It's like you're underwater and that clock's beeping and Sonic's heart's racing, but it's like you can hit different checkpoints. You can get a breath of fresh air. You can extend your lifespan. You can take action. This is why real estate in your head is scarier than it is in real life, because in your head, a horror scenario, there's no solution. I can't solve an imagined problem. It's not real. But a real problem I can solve incrementally by taking action steps against it. There are many solutions. This is Kung Fu. There's many ways to whoop your ass. Is the bottom line. It's Kung Fu. Oh, I took away your left hand. You're done. This ain't boxing, bro. This is Kung Fu. I can still kick. I can sweep. I can choke hold. Like there's a lot of different angles. So you have to understand your lending costs, the lending options, your lending fees, so that you can run your numbers correctly. Because running your numbers is really important. And then discipline. Discipline should have been number one, but we'll put it as a number three. Number one for your discipline is your pipeline. You need a pipeline of deals. And pipelines of deals come from discipline, from reaching out to all these people, these wholesalers, going to auctions, MLS, like just building out your pipeline, building out your abundance. It requires some work, some upfront work, unless you're tapping in, once again, to our Boots on the Ground program, where we're just going to do it all for you. And we just did a live training last Wednesday. It was pretty phenomenal. The feedback was fantastic, where we took you through a Boots on the Ground training and then showed you an active deal that we just completed from soup to nuts, like what we bought it for, took you through the whole rehab process, showed you the appraisal on the back end. So all the numbers from purchase to appraisal to refinance and cash flow, and walked everybody through it. I have a replay link for that. If anybody wants it, you can always tap in if you're interested in the Boots on the Ground program. But that's we have our own pipeline through Boots on the Ground, and we're sending you, anywhere from 7 to like 15 deals a week. But discipline is required to build your pipeline. Discipline is required to build your network as well. So to network and build different relationships, upfront, it requires some work and digging and research. But once you build it, it's kind of there. Like my network right now is like on autopilot. I kind of can't get rid of my network. It's just naturally there. It's an ecosystem. And then follow up. 90%, no, that's too high. I'll give it a good 40%. 40% of your deal flow will come through follow up. As you get better at this game, as you start to scale, 40% of your deal flow comes from follow up. So there are going to be lots of deals that you make offers on, as we're submitting lots of offers, and they're just like, no, I'm not taking it. No, I'm not interested. No, we can get more money. We can do more than that. And then you're like, okay, you let them sit on the market for a while. Then they start price dropping. Then you follow up. Or you keep, reaching out once a week. Hey, is that deal still going? Is the buyer still in? Anything happen? Keep me posted. I'm still interested. Just putting out one text a week to your wholesale network to your realtor network can get you an extra 40% of deals in any market, even in a tough market, even in an overpriced market, even in all of these wrong way markets, overpriced markets, even if you don't have enough deal sources, even if you're overpriced, even if you're paralysis through analysis, and even if you're not submitting enough offers. If you just had the discipline of follow-up, your follow-up separates you from 99% of real estate investors, because 99%, a seller tells them no, and they just walk away with their tail between their legs. They never follow up again. They feel like it's like a guy getting rejected by a cold approach. Walk up to a woman in the bar, she rejects him, and he just walks away. But the follow up on the deal, where you reach out, where you put the feeler out, where you keep showing up, that gets you a lot of deals. They come right back into your pipeline. So you need discipline. You need systems and strategy. Guys, if you get value, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment that says I subscribe, share the content with someone who you want to get value. And let's get those likes up as well. We have a lot of people on. Definitely like, it helps the algorithm to get this out to more people who need to see it, who need help and need to stop doing things the wrong way. If you're interested in tapping into the 24/7 cash flow community, click the links in the description, click the link in bio and tap in. It's $27 to keep out the tire kickers, the people who aren't serious. The people who are serious know the community is very strong. We have a lot of live trainings every week. We have inner circle calls you guys will get access to. We just have a lot of value to offer you. And the inner circle calls are really cool because you'll see other investors from across the country and outside of the country who are getting deals done. And that, I think, is more important for you guys than even seeing me. A lot of people see me, oh yeah, Brian's done it. He's done hundreds of deals. Oh yeah. But a part of you still doesn't believe it. They're like, oh, well, yeah, he's done it, but can I do it? You need to see other people who look just like you, who are in that walk of life or in that early stage where they just crossed over 10 deals in the last 2 years. And they're like, yeah, I just got over my 10. I'm about to walk out the 9 to 5. And you're like, damn, they just made that move in 2 to 3 years. And you can see the growth of actual individuals who are from where you're from all over the country, and doing it in markets that you think it's not possible to do in, quite frankly. You think it's not possible, and then you see somebody doing it. Now it becomes possible to you. Let's get into the mistakes. Guys, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat, drop them in the comment section, and we'll flow through. And then we'll put a bow on this thing. Mistakes. Number one, low balling too soon. A lot of people run in and they just low ball the hell out of everybody. One, proper deal analysis will show you and tell you that every deal shouldn't be lowballed. Some deals are appropriately priced and they need to just be attacked and put under contract as quickly as possible before the seller wakes up and comes to their senses. So lowballing everything is not a winning strategy, even though some people will tell you that. There's a lot of wholesalers that, oh, take the deal, multiply it by 0.65 and offer them that. What kind of advice is that? Most wholesalers and wholesale courses, they don't know anything about any of this. They don't know comps, they don't know rehab costs, and they don't know lending. And they're trying to teach you how to invest in real estate. How can I invest? I can't get through paralysis through analysis because I don't know anything about the data and how to run numbers. I don't know what a good deal is versus a bad deal. So you have to start there, but you don't want to lowball too soon. A new seller who just puts a deal on the market, sometimes they need to get beat up. And that goes to your follow-up, right? Sometimes they need to get their head beat up a little bit by the market. They need to come in, my deal's worth 150, and have the market beat them down. No, it's not. You're getting no offers. Your highest offer has been 105, and they need to come to their senses. So you will kind of just keep beating them, waiting them out. Then once you see them price dropping, you approach, and then you lowball them. So you got to I found that most sellers won't take less than 70% of asking under any circumstances. So you need to wait for them to drop into range, but a lot of people will drop into price range because a bad deal is a bad deal. A bad deal is a bad deal. And if you know how to run your numbers, you'll see it a mile away. And most sophisticated investors will see it, and nobody's going to buy it at a bad price anyway. Only a fool would buy it at a bad price, and they're going to lose all their money anyway. So you don't need to worry about the deals that go under contract at bad prices. Just let them go. A fool is born every day. When they lose their money on this deal, guess what? They won't be here to bid on the next one. So you let them go on that one, and then you come after another good one. There's always another deal when you're dealing in abundance anyway. So it's kind of part of that mindset. Number two, skipping rehab math. You can't skip your rehab math. You have to know your cost of construction. You have to understand how much framers and plumbers and electricians get paid for their time and what type of materials they use and what that costs. You have to start to get into rehab. That's why something like a real estate ride along tour is so crucial. I don't do real estate ride along tours because they're exponentially fun for me, because they're like especially fun for me to do, to carve out the time to you put together a tour and take everybody around and answer questions all day. It's very draining for me. I do enjoy it. I enjoy it while I'm doing it. The setup for it, the preparation for it, it's a lot of work to make sure they go smoothly and to coordinate all the people and all of the deals and the drivers and all of that stuff. But it is actually fun for me to do. But it's a lot of work, but I know it's rewarding for you guys because the amount of knowledge you can get from that experience is tremendous. But the number one thing it shows you is the rehab math, understanding the full scope of the rehab math, because we go into every deal with rehab budgets and we break down the pricing of what it costs to do the flooring, what it costs to do the windows, what it costs to do the roof, like you start to understand it. And by the end of the day, you know how to do your rehab math. And it's arguably the most important thing in the business. Number three, not working backwards. So not starting backwards in a sense of getting pre-qualified with your lender, getting your LLC set up, which we help you with all of these things, by the way. Getting your LLC set up, getting pre-qualified with the lender, getting connected with the realtor, doing some market research to understand what areas you want to invest in and why, having some type of thesis. That's working backwards. Before you tenant, getting a eviction attorney, let them draft your lease so that by the time you get a tenant to sign the lease, if something goes wrong, they can evict them because they drafted the lease. They know what's in it. They know how to get people out based on the lease that they drafted. Working backwards protects you. It gets rid of paralysis through analysis. A lot of people are so busy projecting forward. They haven't even found a deal yet. Brian, but what happens if a tenant gets in and I have to evict them? Well, you haven't even found a deal yet. So what do you care? Is the truth of the matter. What do you care? You need to find a deal first. You need to do research first. You need to get educated first. You need to kind of reverse engineer this thing through knowledge and not worry about steps that are, you don't need to be worried about step X when you're at step A. We just need to worry about step B, maybe C. But even sometimes I'll pull you back off of step C. So it's staying in the moment, understanding what part of the deal you're working on and focusing on that. Because if you get this right, if you get a step A right, chances are you'll get B right. Chances are you'll get C right. If you're so worried about step X that you get step B wrong, chances are you'll get step C wrong and you get step D wrong, and you don't even make it to step X. It's not even worth investing mental energy in. So work backwards to eliminate fear and paralysis, answering tough questions. But some questions don't need to be answered now. You don't need to answer all questions. You need to answer the questions and work backwards based on what's in front of you, not what's so far down the line at the end of the deal. Why worry about the tenanting before you got through the damn rehab? Worry about the rehab. Worry about the costs. Why worry about the rehab before you got the deal, before you got the acquisition? Why worry about the acquisition before you even got connected with the lenders and got pre-qualified? You can't even submit offers yet. You're worried about, can I find deals? You can't even offer on a deal. You're a dog chasing a car. You wouldn't know what to do with it if you caught it. Let's get teed up. Let's get ready. So let's always stay in action taking mode. We'll get more results. And then not having enough systems or support is number 4. If you don't have systems in place, and simple systems don't break at scale. Complex systems break at scale. So if you don't have any systems in place, any tech, any applications or any leverage, any support, any virtual assistants, anybody who can lean in and help and add leverage, you're going to burn out. You're not going to get results. You're not going to outcompete somebody like me or another sophisticated investor. But the good news about that is, as soon as you have systems and any form of support, even a $300 a month virtual assistant, you can outcompete 99% of investors with a $300 a month VA from the Philippines and a couple of systems. A couple of free systems, by the way. So these are some mistakes that you don't want to make. So guys, I hope that helped. I'm going to jump into just some questions. I saw some questions come through. But if you can't find good deals, chances are This is what you're doing wrong. You need to focus in on a 3D method, and you need to tap in and just get more educated at the end of the day. The $27 24/7 cash flow community, that can be a great way to tap in and kind of get your feet wet, get educated, get resources and relationships. Boots on the ground for serious players. If you're serious about scaling and you're like, I got to get out this damn 9 to 5, I would call that like a what do we call that? A FU money investor. Like, I want to get to the point of FU money as quickly as possible where I can fire my boss. The Boots on the Ground program can really accelerate you there. And if you want to just learn it hands on, because a lot of us, I would say 50% of people are hands on learners. They're show and tell type of learners. Come out to a real estate ride along tour. While we're doing it, um, while I have the energy and time and resources to do it, I would recommend taking advantage of it. Don't assume that the ride along will just be here when you're good and ready. It might not be. I might be on to something else and just like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. Sorry. Even though I know it's helpful, I have, too many things on my plate. So definitely tap in there. Let's answer some questions and then we will put a bow on this thing. We'll probably do another live boots on the ground training next Wednesday. But this week, if you want access to that, just DM me and I'll send you a replay. But that's for the people, once again, who are serious. Um, Chance said, I'm going to be honest. I'd rather pay you 20K for boots on the ground than deal with a scam contractor. I'd rather align with the right people. It's worth it. It is. I mean, here's the thing, though. Like, it took me millions of dollars worth of deals to even be attractive to the right contractors, where they would come out and say, hey, I want to work with you. I want to do deals with you. The best contractors, you can't find them. They find you because they hear about you. You're doing so much activity. Hey, that guy's moving deals. That guy's getting it done and he's paying everybody. He's paying? How long has he been doing it for? For years. They've been paying for years. And then the best contractors come out and find you. But I'm opening you guys up as brand new investors, boots on the ground members, to some of the best contractors in the city with the most integrity. And yet, I mean, I would have paid with the amount of volume these guys can do and what they can execute on. I would have paid 50K knowing what they can do because they can far out produce that. So the amount of the cost to get into the boots on the ground program, boots on the ground is not even 20K. That's the crazy part. It's like, I'd rather pay you 20K for boots on the ground. Boots on the ground ain't even 20K to get into, which is crazy. So at least at this time, if as demand increases, maybe boots on the ground becomes more expensive. Which is another thing, which is another reason to get in while you can. But yeah, that is an aspect of it, which is some of these resources and relationships, they're like you can't even put a value on them. But you might not have the knowledge. I'm not saying you, Chance, but because you clearly are tapped in. But a lot of people, like, you may not have the knowledge to really understand the value that I provide. Some people, oh, is this a scam? You don't understand the value that I provide. For starters, or you wouldn't even ask these questions. You would just be thankful that you're in front of the opportunity at the right place at the right time. Because there's a lot of bad people out here. There's a lot of bad contractors out here. And we have to go through them. Investors, a lot of us, just to get to the point of success, we have to go through a lot of bad. Whereas a boots on the ground can just tap you into something that has already gotten the kinks out, and we've already fired several people and gone through iterations of contractors, and we did that 5 to 7 years ago. You're coming in at the finish line and just tapping in. It's kind of it's kind of like when Kevin Durant joined the Warriors. That's what it's like. That's what the boots on the ground program is like. It's like when Kevin Durant joined the Warriors. It's like, well, they were already a championship team. So now you're just joining a championship team and then you won a championship. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. Let's answer some more questions. Roland says, how do you scale into new markets in the safest way possible? I would say, I mean, it's a multi-staged answer, but it would also be working backwards. So as part of working backwards, I see somebody said, hey, Mima Thurs. I would work backwards to get into a new market. So what I would do is I would start by reaching out to a couple of key resources, like a property management company. This is working backwards, right? So talk to a property management company. Guess who property management companies know? Contractors, attorneys, eviction attorneys, real estate attorneys. These are great relationships, zoning attorneys. So I would I would tap into that. Um, I would talk to architects and engineers, because guess who architects and engineers build their plans for? Contractors. They interact with contractors all day. So I'm going to talk to a lot of them as well. Um, I just want to answer this. I won't, Mark. I'm not going to release pricing, but it's not $19,999.99 either. But it would be funny if it was. And I was saying, hey, it's not 20K, it's 1999.99. So you will. Let me go back to this question. So I would talk to them. I would get contractor resources. I would start to build my team and build my relationships and resources up that way first. Then I would get some referrals to realtors. Um, I would start to go on all these websites I'm talking about, investorlift.com, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. I would start to build out my wholesale contacts. I would start to do my market analysis to identify the most profitable areas of the city where I'm seeing the best spreads. So I could do all this in 30 days. I could get a warehouse and all of this in 30 days. I could get a warehouse. I could get a inspector, boots on the ground inspector to go out and look at deals for me, connect them with the realtor and wholesalers, and then connect them into my deal analysts, or connect them directly into me and do my own analysis if I'm lean and mean. So now I have an operation. I have some boots on the ground support. I have a wholesale network, a realtor connect, a eviction attorney, a zoning attorney, a property management company, an architect, an engineer, and some contractor resources and relationships. And now I'm going in. And I can put that all together in 30 days. You drop me out of a parachute in any market in the country. In 30 days, I can put together a full system, a full functioning system. Because it's the same thing over and over again. It's Groundhog's Day. It's Groundhog's Day. For any of you who've seen that movie, you wake up. It's a Bill Murray movie. He wakes up that every day's Groundhog's Day. Very funny movie. Rom com though, if you're into rom coms, which is not. I'm more into action, maybe action com. But Bill Murray. I mean, if you don't like Bill Murray movies, then I don't know what's wrong with you. Uh, Chance to pass. Find a strategy that works for you. That's how, based on your money, credit, time, and find what works for you and your family. That's definitely an aspect of it. Is real estate is malleable, so you can design it around your life. You can design real estate to your lifestyle. It is not the 9 to 5. The 9 to 5, you must conform your lifestyle to the 9 to 5 demands. Real estate, you can actually build it around your ideal lifestyle. Therefore, you love it more. Therefore, you go harder. When you love anything, you go harder than the competition. So build it around your lifestyle. If you like to meditate in the morning and work out, then you build it around that. You build all your systems around that. If you got to pick up your kids, you build it all around that so that it can flow as best as you can. There are going to be some times where maybe you're so busy or you scale to a level where you start missing certain things, but you can also dial it down. That's you and your own human greed at the end of the day. So you can dial that down. So you just have to figure that out. Chance said I'm waiting on a refi check. When that refi check hits, it's on. The best thing to be doing is being serious about scaling and waiting on a check. Be serious about scaling and waiting on a check, waiting on a refi, waiting on a HELOC, but using that time wisely. That time can be the best. That time is a gift. The fact that you're waiting on the refi is a gift because it's giving you more time to get ahead before the money hits. By the time the money hits, you want to be ready. You want to be super ready. Josh, is the Burr method still possible? Oh yeah. I mean, we're doing the Burr method. Not only is the Burr method still possible, we're doing it in today's market. And that's what our boots on the ground training is about. That's what our boots on the ground training is about. I could send you a link to the replay video, or we'll do another one next Wednesday live, where I walk you through a Burr strategy deal that we just finished. We just got the appraisal back 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now. But it shows you right now in 2025, like the exact numbers, what we built it, how fast we built it. I walk you through all the construction videos so you can see every 10 days, the progress of the rehab, the timelines, like I'll show you everything. So it's looking at a real life Burr strategy deal in a top 10 cash flow city in America right now. No fluff, no gimmicks, no BS. And you can do your research. You can go look up the deal on Redfin right now and see what it sold for and when it sold. You can see everything. So that's what I'm trying to provide people with is transparency and as they would call it, receipts, because people only learn from receipts. People don't believe things unless it happens to them, or unless it's like you got to prove the birth strategy like a damn murder case today, like beyond a reasonable doubt. All 12 jurors like said the birth deal completed. Here's the appraisal. Here's the this. Here you got to lay out the facts like an attorney, like you're giving your final statement. Like but that's what we do on the training. You can watch the replay as well, but if you want to do it live, you can do it live. But that'll show you, and it will answer that question. Now, what are you going to do with the answer to that question? Once I show you an actual Burr method deal, where the guy did the deal, he only has $5,000 in the deal. The deal can cash flow $800 a month, 140 or like 700 a month, 144% cash on cash return. When I show you that and I remove that obstacle, that hurdle, that paralysis through it, that form of analysis, paralysis, because that's a form of it. Is this possible? That's a paralysis question. Because until you have the answer to is it possible, even asking it means you don't believe it's possible. And until you believe it's possible or know it's possible because of the proof, you can't take action. Unless there are people like me who just need to understand that it could be possible mathematically, and then we'll just take the risk and go for it. And there are people who are risk takers. But for me, this is not about risk taking. This is about verifiable numbers. It's really just mathematics. There's money coming in the form of rent, and there's money going out in the form of mortgage, taxes, and insurance. And if one number is bigger than the other, there's cash flow there. If you can buy any property in cash flow, it'll give you tax losses and tax write-offs. The average property, and we've had there's some live trainings where Boots on the Ground members will come on and talk about different deals, but the average property, like this guy did a deal from California, and he got bonus depreciation on the deal, did a cost of segregation analysis study. He got $18,000 of tax losses in year one. Probably years 1 through 5, he can write off $18,000 a year of the property against his taxable income. So even if you're just cash flowing, you're getting cash flow, tax losses, massive tax losses that'll get you refunds, and then the properties can appreciate. Every year to probably go up $15,000, $20,000. Some years to go up more, probably, and historically, they have. So, yes, it's still possible, and there are many ways to get paid. Also, one thing that we don't talk about: there's 4 ways to get paid. I've been saying there's 3 ways to get paid in the buy and hold game. There's actually 4 ways you get paid. 1 is cash flow. 2 is appreciation. 3 is tax losses, depreciation. 4 is debt pay down, which is part of your cash flow. Even if you weren't cash flowing, every time the tenant makes the mortgage payment, they're paying down part of your debt. So if all you did was hold on to that non-cash flowing property that was just breaking even, but you held it for 15 years, they'd pay down $100,000 into your damn house that you can refinance out of it. So what's interesting is while your house is appreciating in value, your debt is reducing. It's widening the gap in both directions. And then you're getting tax losses and cash flow while that's happening. It's kind of hard to lose if you hang on to your deals. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard. But not enough people have the long-term time horizon. I own a house, but want a second property. My first investment property, should it be a house or a single family or a multifamily? It depends. There's nothing wrong with singles. I mean, clearly the top hedge funds, BlackRock, and all these people, they're buying single families because single families are highly profitable. They can cash flow. Pound for pound, what you'll find is if I stack up, and this is in today's market, if I stack up your average single family against a triplex, if I stack up 3 single family rentals against 1 triplex, the 3 single families will produce more profit, total profit. If I stack up 3 triplexes against a 9 unit, the 3 triplexes will produce more total profit. A lot of people don't understand that, but that's mathematically how you'll see it works. So then you will start to say, And I can build the 3 single families 5 times faster than the triplex. I can build it faster. There's less risk. I can scale. The single families have more exit strategies. I can rent to own. I can uh I can lease it out. I can rent to own it. I can sell it. I can do a lot of stuff with it. I can hold it and rent it. There's just a lot. There's just a lot. Uh, Sherry, you said, what about the 100 plus doors? I'm not sure what that question is. Maybe elaborate on that 100 plus doors. Um, but that's what I would do. My best advice if you're just starting is go with a small deal, a small single, get your feet wet, learn the game, and then scale up. Stop making your second deal so damn important, because realistically it ain't. Especially if you go on to do 50 deals. It'll just be one of 50. Even if it was the most amazing deal in the world, it won't matter. The only thing that matters is if you do a total, holistic, solid, strong 50 deals. That's all that's going to matter. And those 50 deals are what's going to give you $20,000, $30,000 a month in cash flow, not the one deal. So therefore, you should do the easiest second deal: low to the ground, cosmetic rehab, turnkey. Use somebody else's process. Learn. A lot of us are so busy trying to get, and I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm just using your question as an example, Josh. So many people are so worried about the money piece that they don't understand. If you just got the knowledge, the money will follow the knowledge. It always does in real estate, to the point where you need no money in real estate, only knowledge at the highest level. So like, you guys don't know, there are deal makers out there who just find deals and then they just go raise the money. They don't have the money and they don't care. They just go raise the money and take a piece of the deal. So you should learn on your first deal. Definitely, do BRRRR, hang on to it for the long-term benefits, get the cash flow, all of that stuff. But use it as a learning experience. Learning on a smaller deal is better, because if any mistakes happen, they're small mistakes. If you try to do it on a triplex, the mistake's going to be 3 times bigger, 3 times more expensive. So why learn the same lesson on a more expensive deal? Because you were in a rush. Remember, I said you can collapse time in this game through leverage and knowledge. Knowledge will collapse it one way. So knowledge will mean you can do a deal in 3 months that used to take you 9 months. So that's collapsing it one way. Leverage is multiplication. So now I can do 3 deals in the same time because I have the knowledge that I gained from doing one deal. Now I'm just doing that same thing times 3 simultaneously. Therefore, I can do 50 deals in a year. I can do 100 deals in a year. I need only know how to do one deal 100 times perfectly. I only need to know how to do one deal 100 times the right way. I don't need to know how to do 100 deals, just how to do one. So make that one successful, easy. Give yourself the best chance at success. Invest in your education. Do all the right things so that you can learn mastery of one perfect deal. Once you know what a perfect deal looks like, even if every deal ain't perfect and every deal will have some imperfections, if you know what a perfect deal looks like, you can do that 100 times and you can scale and do it simultaneously. You can always raise more money to do more deals. Raising money could come in the form of a hard money lender. We connect you with 100% lenders as well. So we connect you guys with private money lenders and all these different things in our community group. So I hope that concept gets through. Chance says, I'm super ready. I'm just trying to align myself with the Golden State Warriors. I understand business. If we can do 3 to 4 deals every 6 months, the boots on the ground fee is nothing. Let's rock. Yeah, I mean, you definitely scale up. Like we have testimonials from certain people. We have members who've done, 8 to 10 deals in a year with us. Some have done more. Some have been with us for years. There's definitely a lot out there. So it's something you can scale with. The one thing I will say about the Boots on the Ground program is there is a heavy focus on teaching you as well. For those who want to learn, not everybody wants to learn. Some people just love boots on the ground and the leverage, and that's that. But if you do want to learn, it's a great learning experience as well, because you get educated while we're doing it for you. It's kind of like one of my best educational experiences in real estate was speaking with a property manager because he knew I loved real estate. He was managing about 1,500 units at the time where I was managing three. So imagine the gap of knowledge. And I'm picking his brain, and he knew I loved real estate. So we would just talk. Literally, he called me, hey, there was a sink leak. We had to send the guy out 3 times. I'm sorry. And I'm like, I don't give a shit about that. Let's talk about this. And he was like, damn, this guy doesn't even care about the drama. He's like, Brian, people are usually cursing me out. You get it. Like you're like at my level in terms of just being an owner, and like you don't even. And I'm like, yo, I don't care. This is all just stepping stones and learning experiences. And he gave me so much knowledge about running systems at that level that it was, it's tremendous. So just learning, alone and getting aligned will help you guys to get with it. What about 100 doors? And the elaboration on this is that a triplex is 3 doors. Don't get into doors, get into dollars, get into cash flow, get into scalability. The doors will come. Here's the funny part about 100 doors as well. It's the dog chasing the car theory. So you get to 100 plus doors, then what? The only thing that happens when you get to 100 doors is you stop counting doors. The only thing that happens when you get to 100 doors is you realize it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is putting good deals into your pipeline. The only thing that matters is putting good deals into your pipeline. That's it. That's the game. Find a good deal, get it under contract, close it, get the contractors in. By the time they get in, you think they need you holding their jock strap? You think they need you holding a hammer? They learned how to build houses when they were 8 years old. They've been building houses for 40 years. You think they need you? Go find more profitable deals. That's what they need you to do. Go find more profitable deals. And by the time you get to 100, you found so many profitable deals that you're programmed. You know it doesn't matter how many doors you get. You've already gotten financial freedom. You've already changed your family's trajectory. You've already redesigned your life to a life that you love and enjoy. More money is not going to change that. More money is not going to do anything for you. It's a natural byproduct of the activity. So you stop counting doors. And then you think back and you say, well, it wasn't even in a rush. It shouldn't even have been a rush to get to 100 doors. The rush is to learn what a perfect deal is and to build out your resources and relationships. But if you only fill your pipeline with profitable deals, you will win. You will win. You will win long before 100 doors. Also, another 100 doors thing. You'll win at 20 doors. You'll win at 10 doors. You'll win at 1 door. By the time you do 1 door, it's almost the bigger win than 100 doors. Because 1 door got rid of, where's that question? 1 door got rid of the other question, which was good deal. Not rolling. There was another question. Yeah, this one. Is the burst strategy still possible in today's market? Well, one deal got rid of that question. When you do one deal and this is no longer a hurdle, then you're like, damn, it's real. Once you know it's real, if you keep applying a strategy, you're going to get to 100 doors. If you get there conservatively and take your time and grab the low hanging fruit and grab some singles and grab some triplexes, grab them all. Anything that's profitable. A triplex can be profitable and a single can be profitable. You keep filling your bucket. You're going to look back and you're going to say, damn, I built a nice portfolio, a nice strong one. It ain't going to go nowhere. And that's the win. So don't worry about trying to build it all multi or all single. The more you learn, the more you will see that the single family is more profitable than the multis anyway. You'll only buy a multi if you're like, this multi is nice. It's profitable. I like the location. It's what I would call a sexy deal. A sexy deal. Then you'll buy them. If it's a 5 unit, you'll buy them. If it's a 1 unit, one family, you'll buy it. It doesn't matter. A deal's a deal's a deal. A dollar's a dollar is a dollar. And a strong portfolio is a strong portfolio. So if it's a strong single, then you put it in. Chance, I lost 50K on my last project. New construction. My contractor inspector didn't send the cut card to Pico to turn the lights on. I'm waiting on utilities. No one is telling the truth. Then PGW came out. The gas lines in the wrong location. Damn. Yeah, like, and that's another. Rebecca said you're the best. Thanks, Rebecca. I'm just trying to keep it real with you guys. A lot of people don't tell you guys the truth, and I hope I'm not too harsh at times. I'm not. I'm literally not talking down to anyone individually. You guys are all here. So you're all tapped in. Part of you is very mentally tapped into this, or you wouldn't be here, quite frankly. Because you're not here because I'm driving a Lamborghini and rocking a big diamond chain or something. You're here just for knowledge of real estate. But hopefully, this stuff helps you. Like I said, if it helps, definitely share it. Losing this money, it happens because it's a new construction project. So see, people will tell you, and this is another thing I'll say. With a lot of gurus out there, they all tell you there's one thing to do. You do this one strategy. This is it. I do ground up because ground up's the best. And blah, blah. Nonsense. You need multiple strategies. They all have pros and cons. You need to educate yourself on them, find which one you love, and go for it. But some people will tell you new construction, oh, there's nothing that can go wrong because it's all new construction and it's set it and forget it. And there's still the same things that go wrong. Guess what? You could have learned about all these issues, the PICO, the cut card, the utilities, PGW, gas lines. You could learn about these on a single family deal, which would come at a lower price point. And this mistake would have been a 5K mistake, not a 50. It'd have been a 5K or maybe a 10K, not a 50. Not that there's anything wrong with it, because Chance is still learning high level value, even 50K, but understanding the value of a ground up deal. Well, you can make 150K on a win. The only way to get over a bad deal is with a good deal. The only way to get over a bad current deal is with a good deal in the future. So it's just all about taking the steps to implement better deals in the future. Even if a current deal flops, it's not the end of the game. It's not the end of the world. It's just a perspective thing. Because if you could already see the future win, if you could fast forward, if this was a movie and you could push fast forward, and 9 months from now, you executed on a deal that made you 100K, you wouldn't care about the 30K loss today. You just look at it as a 70K win and a learning experience. So from the right perspective, as someone who is, juggled hundreds of deals and kind of seen all of this stuff, I'm here to tell you, keep your perspective a little longer term, have more grace with yourself. Don't go through the emotional roller coaster, because these mistakes happen. There's value in the mistakes, but the value's in the future. It's in the further application of the knowledge. Not even of the being critical of it, but understand that these mistakes can happen on all deals. And all knowledge is valuable, even to the level of going completely turnkey and just buying a FHA house hack move-in ready property, because you learn how to be a landlord. You learn how to manage tenants. You learn the end game. Then you're not afraid of it when you start building and developing. See, I never had that fear of the BRRRR strategy because I started off as a landlord. I didn't have any doubt. Can I monetize the asset? Can I rent it and collect cash flow? There's no doubt. I'm already doing that. I just need to learn how to build them and go through this process. I already know I can get the financing and monetize them on the back end. So all knowledge is valuable. Get it where you can get it. If you start off as a wholesaler, if you start off with creative financing, no cash, no credit investing, whatever, just get into the knowledge and trust, long term, that you can take action and get to where you want to go, even if you're experiencing something in the short term that feels a bit turbulent. Never feels good when you're on a plane and you're driving through the clouds and you start bouncing up and down. Turbulence never feels good. Doesn't mean the plane's going down. But in real estate, the turbulence can be 60 days. It could be 90 days of turbulence. Do you have the stomach for this turbulence, this real estate turbulence? Because the timeline, the time of a flight is 2 hours. If you might experience in a let's say a 3-hour flight, You may experience 15 minutes of turbulence, but you will notice it. You will remember it, and you will be uncomfortable during that time. The time horizon of your real estate is 60 years, 30 years, 20 years, you like whatever your time horizon is. So there might be a 3-month turbulent experience within that 30 years. Doesn't mean the journey is a negative journey. You can't see the next step. You haven't been around long enough. So that's part of it. And it's hard to get there when you're at the front end and you haven't had the experience. You just have to take my word for it to a degree. The real estate game is stronger and more fruitful than you understand. And you'll come to that understanding later. Antoinette says, that's what I was concerned about. Being educated while doing boots on the ground. I love this. Yeah. The boots on the ground is the most educational experience. What I'm telling you guys is one of the highest levels of education I got was from a property manager. It was from a guy who was, because he had done so much volume. I've told you a story about if you wanted to be a marketer, you would be smart to get in a marketing course from a guy who manages a $50 million marketing budget for multiple clients because he sees $50 million of bullshit a year. And he can educate you on that without you having $50 million to spend and deal with. Boots on the ground is we're going to get the result, but you are tied into the deal. You own the deal. So you're seeing everything. And when you see everything, you learn intimately. I'm not only teaching you how to build a deal, I'm teaching you how to build a deal in your underwear at your kitchen table. You know what type of value that is? I don't think people really understand that level of value. Do you know what type of power it is to be able to build a rental property in your underwear at your kitchen table? Not even leaving your kids. How much you could do for your family with that level of knowledge and that skill set, that high income skill. The boots on the ground is the number one way to do it. It's the easiest way to do it because you just see it done. You see the systems. So that, and I've had people learn the boots on the ground, take this strategy, run it back to their hometown. And that's part of my mission. I don't say, God damn it, like you took my 24/7 cash flow method and you're doing it in your backyard and now you're not in the boots on the ground program. I don't do that. I cheerlead. My mission is to help to rebuild communities across the country. I can't do that alone. I'm not arrogant. I need you guys out getting the education so that you can go out and rebuild your communities, make millions of dollars, make other millionaires, and put food on the table for other families and create better local economies. That's how we're going to uplift our communities because the government ain't going to step in and do it. The government ain't going to step in and do it. Only the people like us can do it. Back to that 100 doors. If everybody could go out and get 100 doors, which you all can do, you all can do it because of the compression of time and multiplication, doing simultaneous deals at once. You all can do 100 plus deals. I'm giving you the blueprint and the strategy. If all of you did it, we would do thousands and thousands of deals across the country. And that is the impact. Thousands of deals a year. If we had 100 boots on the ground, not 100 boots on the ground people, just 100 24/7 cash flow people who are out getting it in. And we have some monsters now. We're 5 years into, mentorship program and all this stuff. I'm seeing monsters who are like, I know he's going to hit 100. I know she's going to hit 100 at this pace. She just did 15 in a year. He just did 10 in a year. I'm seeing it now. Well, if you had, 100 or let's say 1,000 people, because we have a lot of mentees, all doing 100 deals, 10,000, 10,000 or 100,000 deals a year. Let's say if they all did 10, 1,000 people all did 10, that's 10,000 deals in a year. If we could all run at 10, that's like the size of a REIT. That's the size of a hedge fund in terms of deal flow. That's a lot of control. That's going to reshape communities. And then you guys actually owning it is going to be protective because you can choose how you want to structure your affordable housing to the community. And you'll have those options. But it's all part of the mission. You can't hurt the mission by winning here. You only help the mission by winning. You hurt the mission by losing. The incentive is for you to get 100 plus doors. The incentive is for you to get so many doors you stop counting. It becomes irrelevant to you. It becomes a walk in the park. Not going to be discouraged with the no's. Just need one yes. Lloyd and Annie, definitely. You just need one yes. It's if mom says no, ask dad. If dad says no, ask grandma. You know, ask your uncle. Whatever. Get the yes and keep going until you get the yes. The no's don't matter. And the yes is definitely out there. Timing is everything. I've personally bought property that has sat, I've had deals, hey, this deal sat, for whatever amount of months. But it's like sometimes the market tightens and people walk in and they're just seeing junk. And then they walk into the house and they're like, this has what we need. This has this space. We can use this office. We can do the right buyer is there. It's all a volume game and strategy game. But yeah, real estate is all about just getting a yes. Getting a yes. Forget about the no's. Chance says, I agree. That's why I said the $27. Yeah, the $27 is definitely a good investment. I mean, the 27 to a degree could have saved you maybe that 50. And I think that that's the sad part of the game is that a lot of us learn from the school of hard knocks. I would say that, Chance would agree, like a lot of what he learned through the school of hard knocks, a lot of that 50K could have been saved if he hit the $27 option first, or if he tapped into something different first. He could have learned a little bit more, or at least been prepared or been ahead or known how to navigate. If I was a part of Chance's deal and he's like, this happened, that happened, I'm so tapped in deal flow, I know how to solve it. At least doesn't mean that it can get solved fast. Everything can't get solved fast, but knowing how to solve it is half of the battle. And it's tough dealing with the city. PGW is tough. Chance said, definitely, you're right. Like he could have probably taken his $27 course and saved $27,000. That's 1,000x return. And there's still millions of dollars worth of knowledge in there. So just a couple of lessons could be 1,000x return on this deal. Then if you apply it to future deals, it's like, well, how much value is that? You kind of can't put a price on it. So guys, I hope that helped. We went substantially longer than I wanted to, but good questions deserve good answers. So hopefully that helped. Once again, if you guys want to tap into any of our programs, we have the Boots on the Ground program. Just reach out and tap in. If you guys want to tap into the real estate ride along tour, I suggest you reach out quickly because that's going to sell out by like Friday. We just locked in another 2 tickets today, and people just kind of keep reaching out. My new people, I'm sure I'll see you there. I'll get you guys your 24/7 cash flow hoodies. I'm going to order those tonight. And yeah, just keep rocking, man. Just keep betting on yourself. No matter where you're at, if you're getting started with creative financing, no cash, no credit, you have the capital to get into Boots on the Ground or to get into any form of mentorship or even the 27, just, get yourself in, start getting educated, get around like-minded people, get around other investors, and get rid of these types of objections. Like, do I know this is still possible? Another reason you wouldn't even have that question is if you were on our inner circle call. If you were tapped into one of our inner circle calls, by the time you heard the 5th person who was actively doing a BRRRR strategy deal in today's market successfully, by the time you heard them, you'd be like, damn, not only is it possible, mad people are doing it under my nose. They're doing it right in front of me. And it's not even Brian. It's all these other, people who are out here in all these different markets across the country. It'll make your head spin. So it's another reason to just like push yourself past these mental hurdles. The mental hurdles are worse than not having cash or credit because those are just physical things that we can solve around with structuring deal strategy, different types of education. But the mental blockers, it's like, damn, you need to meditate. You need to reflect on yourself to some degree. You need to become your own therapist. You need to know thyself and understand your mental blockers and let go of them. Quite frankly, just being able to see what your mental blockers are enough. You see it, you identified it. Hey, I have some fear and doubt in this area, and now let it go. Just let go of it. Let go of it and try to find other opportunities. You're not going to get over the fear and doubt by focusing on fear and doubt. You're going to get over it by getting knowledge and seeking answers because you fear what you don't understand. We'll leave it there. Brian Grimes, your real estate mentor. I'll see you guys on the next one.